Yeah, so it did pretty good, but I did have that issue. All right, guys, taking a look at this Milwaukee. I told you I'd give you an update, let you know how the stuff worked out. So I finally got to use this thing. I don't know, I had to pump about 8 quarts of oil. I was doing an oil change on the motorhome, and some of them hold a lot of oil. That's just a tame one, 8 quarts. Some of them hold like 16 quarts. So anyway, it did pretty good with the quick connects, but the problem with the quick connects on the supply side, where I'm going into the 5-gallon bucket or whatever you're using, the 5-quart container, this connection, you can see the O-rings in there. That connection is not, I guess that's just really the lock ring. That's not really I put my finger in there and checked it out. It's just a lock ring that locks this in. And maybe if I could find a higher quality set of these, it was sucking air, guys. So when I put this all together, and let's see that play? Well, that allows air to go in. And when it's sucking air, it's not pulling a good vacuum, so it's not drawing in enough fluid. That's not Milwaukee's fault. They didn't design it with this. These are just attachments that I put on. It's just a set of quick disconnects that I got from Harbor Freight to make my life easier. But this is like a $7 brass set, and you can see the oil still in there, fresh oil. It's all right. That's what I bought the thing for pumping oil, gear oil, stuff like that. Yes, I know it's supposed to be used for water. No, I don't care, because I bought it specifically to pump oil. And I was gonna pump some diesel fuel through it, but I have a dedicated diesel fuel pump, so I just use that, and it's just a little cheap one. So yeah, the pump works great, guys. And on the other side, I have a smaller diameter quick connect hose. Now, because this is just the output side, it doesn't matter. So the cheap quick connect is fine for that. But I'm probably gonna have to get like a much higher quality quick disconnect, something like like on your pressure washers, how they have that double gasket. I need something that's gonna seal better, so that it doesn't draw any air. Other than that, golden. All right, my RV guys, if you don't have one of these guys, get one. If you're doing mobile RV work, it's a little different. It's a lot different from working in the shop, and you'll find that some tools that you use in the shop you won't use in the field, and then there's going to be tools you use in the field that you probably wouldn't use in the shop environment, because you don't have as much time and you're in a different scenario. So this is one of those things, guys, that you want to go ahead and grab as a mobile technician. This M18 got the 6.0 battery in this and in the inflator. I also recommend the inflator. It works as an emergency for your truck, but also when you got to pressure test a camper, you need, you use it to pressurize your tool. Now, so I definitely recommend you guys grabbing one of these. This thing is awesome, and I can't say how nice it is. Guys, get you some of these. Take a nice look at these guys. These are the fuses that you need for the control boards on your refrigerators. All right, so many of your refrigerator control boards are gonna have a 120 volt fuse. Okay, see the rated voltage, 125 volt. You need these for the AC side, you got your heating elements are not working, blah, blah, blah. You know, it works on gas. It doesn't work on electric. There is an AC fuse, this fuse, that's on those control boards, which you guys probably already know that if you're an RV tech. But this is not something you can just go to Home Depot and pick up. So order you some Dometic and Norcold. Those are the main fridges I'm thinking about right now. Your gas absorption refrigerators are the ones I'm talking about here. And because the 110 refrigerators use regular fuses like this regular, they just use blade fuses, especially your Furions. But for your gas absorption refrigerators, you're gonna need these fuses. So take note of the size. The form factor is very important. You're not gonna fit one of those in place of this. It's too big. And you know, I keep all type of fuses, guys. A lot of your old campers, they're gonna use these in the power distribution box. You working on old campers. I work on everything. I know some guys, they don't work on anything, you know, older than 15 years or so. I work on everything. And they use these. So I keep an assortment of, got these from Harbor Freight, but I also have, you know, higher quality ones depending on the application, you know, depending on what it's going in. And the severity of the situation. I need to get somebody going. So I have all types. I get different brands, you know, they're just fuses, guys. They're just fuses. So get these, guys. Pick you up a pack of these. I got these off of Amazon, and I got 20 of them, and they're just $10 or $15. Now, if you try to buy one through one of the RV places, Dometic or Norcold, so-called branded, they want like $14 for one. Okay, so don't play that game, you know. So yeah, I have all kinds of stuff. I have all different brands, makes, and models. I buy little fuse stuff. Like this one fuse is like $100, you know. And then I have these breakers, which are probably like $10 or $15. You know, they don't cost that much. I got some other ones, different brands that I need to put in here. Like I said, it depends on the application. It's not really that serious. What else do we do? I don't know. Did I pick up some more tools? I might have picked up some more tools, but we'll look at that later. I just wanted to show you guys about the Milwaukee and these fuses. These are a lifesaver. When you don't have these and you can't get the fridge going just because of that, that's not a good look. So yeah, got these guys, and you go to Harbor Freight and get you an assortment, because you're going to run into these glass fuses, especially in your older campers, and you're going to want them. And then like some of these recalls that they did on different refrigerators, they use these glass fuses instead of a blade fuse style. Instead of using one of these to fuse a circuit, they use the round ones. You also see that a lot on your tongue jacks, round fuses. So get stocked up. Some other cool stuff since we're in this box, guys. Working on your trailer brakes and stuff. These 3M connectors, this is basically what you'll see from the factory, and they're already flooded with silicone type material. It's basically a Scotch lock that actually works. I'm not a fan of Scotch locks. They're horrible, and I try not to ever use them. But when it comes to brakes, you need that waterproof connection, and that's why I have good ones. These 3M ones, working on trailer brakes, or electrical connections that's outside. I even use them like on awning wires and stuff that's outside. you know, I'll use these. And these are the 3 ways. I use them for 2-wire connection and 3-wire connection. I don't have any other ones other than that size. When you're dealing with a lot of these 12-volt refrigerators, guys, you want to get you a set of these. These are crimp connectors. So when you have to go from like a 6 or 8 gauge, you know, you're probably not gonna have a 6 or 8 gauge butt connector. So you kind of got to buy these separate and special. And I bought them specifically for working on Furrion Arctic refrigerators, those 12-volt refrigerators. I need a connector because on the refrigerator side, the wiring coming from that is only going to be 10 gauge, and then you're going to be having to connect up to a 6 or 8 gauge wire, preferably 6, depending on the wire run, but preferably 6. But you can't control how they make their campers. So get you a set of these guys, and when you're using it as a reducer, it's also nice to go ahead and if you have the room and the time and the space, solder it. You know, I'll use a crimp connector and then I solder on the ends, and I just make sure it's going to be a good connection because it's not ever coming off. It's not a removable connector. You know, if somebody has to work on it, they're cutting it off totally. So go ahead, and you're going to have to use heat shrink anyway. This is a bare conductor connector. You know, it's a non-insulated connector, so you're going to have to do the heat shrink anyway. So you already have either the torch or a heat gun or something out anyway. So go ahead and solder that bad baby after you crimp it to make a nice solid connection. It's going to flow very well into that connector. So that's good. And then heat shrink it. Ferrules. I'm a big proponent of using ferrules, especially on transfer switches where you have large gauge stranded wire like your 6 gauge and your 8, not 6 gauge. Normally that's going to be 8 gauge or 10 gauge stranded. Put ferrule on that, and you know, your life will be better. You don't have to come back, you know. So I like using ferrules. I have a bunch of different sizes. I have ferrule kits for smaller wires. It makes a neater install when you have to go work on it again. You got to pull the wires back apart. You know, it's just so nice when you have the bootlace ferrules or your crimp sleeves on there. Now, if it's a really big connection, what you do is, especially if your ferrule crimpers cannot go to that size, you simply slide it over the wire, put it into the device and screw it down like normal, and it will crimp inside while you're screwing that down. So these are just some things I like to do, guys. Of course, you know, everybody, you got your thermal fuses, you know, water heaters, and what else I got? Yeah, I keep some RJ45 and some RJ11. These are RJ11 fittings for when you have to re-terminate ends on like thermostat wires, mainly for air conditioners that use the phone line. And I cut it back about a ½ inch so that I could see what wires, the pin out, basically. You know, you want to make sure you get the pin out correct, and you want to use the right RJ11. If it's a 4-pin, use a 4-pin. It's a 6-pin, use a 6-pin. Because it has to match up to what you're putting it in. So you have to use the same one. So I keep that stuff. Different resettable breakers. Like I said, I got the Busman. I got the name brand stuff, you know, and then I also have the little I call them cheaper ones, but these are Coopers. These are still good, you know what I'm saying? They're all made in China, but you know, these are made in Mexico. It's a difference. Let's see where the little fuses are made at. Some of these may be made in USA. I don't know. Mexico. These are little fuses, and that's made in Mexico. They're coming out of Mexico, guys. They're coming out of Mexico. So whatever. Here's some more connectors, like I was saying. So this is like this is 3-prong, but it's actually 4 pins. Yeah, cool little things that you may not use but once or twice, but when you need it, you really need it, and you'll be really glad that you have it. One thing that I definitely don't recommend, and you shouldn't buy, are these knockoff Wagos. I bought these because the little gimmicky thing, and I'll tell you why I don't ever use them. Because you can snap these together, so you just buy one size and then you can put it together and make 2 ways, 4 ways. First of all, they're so much bigger, but that's not it. That's huge compared to a regular 2-way Wago. And even compared to a straight Wago, still pretty huge. The reason I don't use them is because they're not listed. They have no independent laboratory testing done. These are totally fire starters. I need to just take them out of my box. I use them on low voltage stuff. Like, I could use them on low voltage stuff. 12 volt stuff that is like less than an amp. You can use them for that, but I just don't use them at all. You see how many Wagos I got. These boxes are normally full to the brim, and I go through. But yeah, you get what you pay for. You buy cheap, you buy twice. I got hit with this. This thing says 600 volts, 32 amps. Don't believe the hype, bro. I wouldn't trust this. I wouldn't trust that on the 120 circuit at all. I should just get rid of them, get them out of my box. They're just taking up space. That's why I got so many of them, because I never use them. Ring connectors, 5/16. Those multi-packs, they only have the small ones, man. You try to put them over some of these studs, they don't fit. So I buy single jars of these, and I always get the heat shrink ones. So if I'm in an application like that, I can use the heat shrink feature. If not, I just leave them. Of course, I even tried these. These are not that bad, guys. You just have to, you can't splay the wire, the thread, the strands out, put them together like you can for a real soldering iron. You have to twist these guys together, splay them, connect them, twist them, bend it back, then put this on it. You have to have a pretty secure connection before you use this low melt. It's basically just a little bit of low melt solder. It's not gonna flow all the way through. It's just not enough solder. But if you're in a pinch and you gotta do something quick, it works good because you can use a heat gun instead of a soldering iron or a torch. I have multiple, I have electric soldering irons, I have gas soldering irons. All my soldering irons are portable. I don't carry any plug-in soldering irons on the truck because it doesn't work in a mobile setting. Then keep my cable connectors, my CATV stuff, and you want to keep some of these on the truck too. And you're gonna run into it. These Romex connectors for your electrical boxes and stuff. You're gonna run into it. You're gonna need them. What else we got? Yeah, it's just a fuse box. A lot of these fuses came with this little, it doesn't ever work. This little supposedly waterproof thing, it doesn't work. And then I have a bunch of these little fuses in different amperage sizes. These are auto resetting DC breakers. If I'm having an issue, especially on some of these campers with the slide rooms, and the inrush current is blowing that 30 amp, and it's just because of the inrush, and I test that because one of my fluke meters has inrush on it and I can see it, I'll go ahead and switch that out to one of those to solve that issue, because you cannot change the load rating of the motor. It's going to do what it's going to do, and You're not going to change how they got it wired. If they didn't calculate the copper loss and things like that to where it doesn't inrush so bad, then those resettables can handle that little bit of inrush, and it won't trip and the slide won't malfunction. I fixed a lot of slides like that, guys. A lot of them. Speaking of slides, I got my well, you know, I got my level 3 slide out specialist certification, and then I got my one for the chassis. I got the patches in the day. I'm gonna get those all sewed onto my service jacket. It's gonna look pretty sweet. I like to let people know that they are dealing with a certified professional. They can trust my work and my professional opinions when I'm working on their stuff. So let's get this stuff put up. Let's take a look real quick. No need to cut the video. Just there they are. Right there. This one I got this week, and this one I got a couple weeks ago. So there are about 5 of these that I gotta get, and then I get a 6th one, which will be a level 4 master tech. So after you get all 5 of these, level 4 master tech is obtained, and then that's it. Ball game is over. So catch you guys later. I'll be Tech Pro out.